Let's go. Trial 3, baby. Let's start it. Trial in session. Yeah. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Heartfelt likes this channel on YouTube and have fun. So we have to find the culprit who killed Kanata and Yamaguchi, right? That's right. Pooh. Now then you may start your discussion. It was a little bit awkward, but can Kinjo lead again? I could keep you on top of my reasoning, but unfortunately I won't be very helpful this time around. Investigating in a hurry, but I don't know the details of the case, and there are several parts that I could not investigate. Because he got beaten and knocked out by the killer, right? And we have no choice but to do it ourselves as much as possible. It's going to be a miracle if Makaru helps us. Now, it'll be fine. If you keep talking, we'll reach an answer, right? When you start discussing, Kinjo might find out something too. I hope so. And let's do it as far as we can. This case has been far more different than the others. Unlike Maki or Tomori, who died suddenly while we couldn't see them, and the murder took place right in front of us. Yeah, that too, and we know because two people were killed on two different floors. I think the people on each other's floors will have different information. That was when Kinjo fainted at that time. And it's best to listen to everyone as much as possible. Begin a summary of the case. Satsuki will help too. Both raid the second floor, and the people who checked the third floor saw and heard differently. Have to gather information. As Kobashikawa said, Kinjo doesn't know anything, so let's explain the incident and sort out the order in which the incident occurred. First, before the BDA rang this morning, Maeda, Taira, Uranami, Otori, and I waiting for everyone to gather at the restaurant. After 1 hour, Makako-chan arrived, but the rest were not coming at all, so we felt something was wrong and decided to find Kanata and Yamaguchi. Now on the second floor, we found Ohara fainted, and fortunately he was able to come to his senses. But right after that, on the third floor, there was a strange sound that went wild. So we decided to act in two groups, the second floor investigation group and the third one. Kurikawa, Uehara, and me on the third floor, and as for the second one, it was Taira, Kobashikawa, Otori, and Uranami who took over. Alright, so you're saying the viewpoint diverges from there, is that right? In my case, I heard a rough story from the others in charge of the second floor investigation. There are probably many others who don't know about it yet. Shall Maeda, Kurikawa, and me talk about the third floor first? We went up to the third floor, and then each of us decided to check a room. Maeda went to the art room, the epicenter of the strange sounds. I checked the science lab, and Kurikawa decided to check the rest of the rooms. The empty classrooms and casino, there was nothing wrong. Like Uehara said, I headed to the art room, where I was able to confirm the identity of the strange noise. Sound that coming from inside the locker. Found in it was Inori's dead body! No. Makaru hands and feet tied up. Oh, I actually have 4 health now. Inside the art room locker was Makaru, with her mouth taped and her limbs were bloody, and she was kicking the locker door to try to open it. That was what the roaring sound was. Makaru was trapped. And bloody too. Wait, she wasn't in a position to talk to the others either? This incompetent child. I won't let this go so easily. Why me? I was just trying to organize the case. Maeda went to the art room and came along with Makaru, and I wondered how he found her. She must have been trapped. Well, at the time, the situation was so urgent that there were some things that could not be explained properly. Why was Makaru found like that? Why, you ask? I was taken off guard by the killer. You also say that you were off guard. Don't worry, unlike the cop over there, I didn't give a damn. What do you mean? Don't mind and continue the discussion. I'll tell you after I watch you guys shovel some more. You really are a piece of... Isn't there even cooperatives here anymore? Ignore Makaru and keep talking. Even if you don't know, I have to reason based on what I heard just now. Yeah, then I'll continue. After taking Makaru out, we came out through the corridor, but then Kurikawa and Uehara called out, mentioning that the science lab door was not opening. As I said earlier, I went to investigate the science lab, but the door was tightly closed and couldn't be opened. My attempt, I tried to force it open, but it was no use. The effort didn't seem good at all, so Kurikawa joined who came from investigating the other places. Yes, there was even a scream coming out of the science lab. 4 of us who were on the 3rd floor all focused on opening the door, and finally we succeeded in opening the door to it. Was Kanata-chan dead? Shortly after, the body discovery announcement came out. Everyone knows by now from seeing Inori's body, but it was so horrible that she was shocked to death and she couldn't even move from there. But the crime didn't end there. Yes, it came out again. Another BDA. That's Yamaguchi's BDA that we found in the library, right? In order to see what has transpired, we went down to the second floor to join you guys, and we also checked Yamaguchi's body. It's all from our report on the third floor investigation team. As for us, we checked the second floor are no different. Each of the four were put to investigate a classroom, and I, who went to the library, found Yamaguchi and Kinjo, and then the rest of the guys discovered the corpse one after another, and then the BDA rang. So roughly, that's how the case played out. Yeah, at first glance, it's like a murder case, just like two people died overnight, and we found them, one after another, but the biggest problem with this case is that the killing was this morning, the same day. They went to the same areas as us, even the same hour, and committed a murder. Is that, you mean the estimated time of death in the Monokuma file? That's right, according to the Monokuma file, Yamaguchi and Inori died at the time we were investigating the second and third floors. We realize this, but as much as we've been acting in pairs and working with each other, we can prove everyone's alibi. That's not the only weird thing, right? When the science lab door was closed, we heard Inori scream, clearly with the door in between. But when we opened the door, there was no one inside. Oh, wait a minute. That's the same for us. The place where Urahara-kun was found. It was near the stairs of the second floor. To get out of the library after killing Yamaguchi-kun. He must pass through there, so you couldn't have missed them. When you went to search the library, did you go right away after breaking with the others who went to the third floor? Yes, when I went to the library, Yamaguchi was already dead. If the culprit killed him in the library, I couldn't have missed that. Even if we say they secretly came out, Kanata was killed too. To go up the third floor, they would have to pass Maeda, right? All these things don't make any sense. I didn't ask that far. Don't jump ahead. Yes, sorry. What are you sorry for? You don't have to apologize to that guy. That's how Kinjo is. He doesn't like Taira anyway, so don't worry. Everyone else is not thinking badly of you, okay? Oh no, it's alright, Koba Ishikawa. No matter what others say, it's true that I stabbed Kazuna, and it's true that Ayame died because of me. I don't deserve to say anything else. If you know that, then let's continue. I also don't want to waste my time talking about bitter stuff, even in class trials. So then the biggest issue right now is how did they go back and forth without any of us noticing in that short time? Yeah, Inori and Yamaguchi's time interval was only 5 minutes. It's definitely impossible to kill in two places that's separated by different floor levels, it looks like. It looks like that, but is that really how it happened? Think about what we may have investigated. I may have found the secret of this challenge. Oh, it's just giving me the tutorial again. Okay, well, I already know this. Stun gun, probably, yeah. In that short time, avoiding all of our eyes, it's impossible to kill two people. Not necessarily. Yamaguchi was killed after. Do you know what it was that killed him? Inori? Execution by a stun gun, right? Electrocution by a stun gun, right? Maybe it was the stun gun? That does make an electric shock against the body. It's not close to the body, so it wasn't affected by it? That's wrong. I'm wrong. Oh, it's the wet floor. I'm stupid. It's literally the wet floor. I'm stupid. Got it. I heal now. Let's go. No, the weapon that killed Inori was definitely a stun gun. May not have been a direct hit from the stun gun. Wasn't a direct hit, but the weapon was a stun gun? Are you saying some kind of ghost hit him? Have you all been to the science lab at least once? Wasn't that sea of water enough to overflow the corridor? First I was wondering why they needed to do this. The fact that the science lab was turned into a sea of water, Inori was electrocuted. What was the cause to make this happen? I feel like Kanata submerged in water and dropped the stun gun. He caused an electric shock without touching the stun gun directly. Wait a moment, the stun gun itself is just a suppression tool. It doesn't come out with enough voltage to kill people in no time. Of course, it also depends on the device. However, if you allow water to pass electricity, it will be left enough for a person to pass through their body. Yeah, if that were the case, wouldn't the killer be able to electrocute indirectly with water, even if they didn't use the stun gun with their hands? Oh no, he's arguing. Bro, what are you talking about? Oh, no way, mate. Everything has a bunch of flaws. What's wrong all of a sudden? So I tried to reason my head wrapped around this crime for a while. This logic is so wrong that it just doesn't fit. Beat my idea, but then today I won't lose to you. You're arguing for such a useless reason? Since you said it was useless, fight the Maeda. Unfortunately for you, I found out what's wrong with your reasoning. Now then. This is my chance to point out your mistake. It's gonna be the phone, right? Because he doesn't know the timer. No. Skip and start slashing words. It's gonna be the phone, right? Yeah, the broken phone. Okay, let's go. Assuming the Sungun was submerged. And you can electrocute without touching the body directly. In order to get it into the water, someone should be in the science lab. So it doesn't change to go back and forth between the second and third floors. Progress. Let's move it along. No, not necessarily. If you only drown the stun gun, you can operate it remotely. That's possible only with superpowers. Stun gun moved on its own and fell into it? Unless there's a tool that literally moves on its own. The vibrating phone. Oh. The phone vibrated, making it so it moved off the table. I get it. Perfect. Flawless. Kabushikawa, there may be one. A tool that moves by itself. What? In fact, the science lab stun gun wasn't just dropped there. Next to it, a mobile phone was connected with a strap. It's a cell phone. You mean the one that Urahara discovered? Yes, that's right. Maki's mobile phone. Oh, it was the one that disappeared, and you said it was there? Oh, so you said it was a self-moving tool? Why does that cell phone matter? Actually, it matters because it has a vibration function that was used. Kinjo was right. That phone had alarm settings just before we heard Inori scream. Ah, that's right. I understood this now. So you connected the strap to the phone. Hmm? Why is the alarm function related to moving? Am I the only one who doesn't understand? Oh, Uhara, a vibration alarm function. You don't know what that is? He's clueless. I don't think it's Kinji. Man doesn't know how to use a phone. Hmm? Alright, Uhara lived in the mountains, so you don't know the achievements of society, right? Let the civilized people tell you then. I did not live in the mountains. Urahara, what I wanted to explain was that they drowned the stun gun using the phone's alarm function. The phone and the stun gun were connected by a strap. Probably the killer set the alarm at the time when the stun gun was going to be drowned. Placed the phone in a corner as if it were about to fall on the edge of the desk. When this happens, the alarm goes off at the precise time the vibration function occurs. The cell phone moves little by little due to the vibration and eventually falls from the desk to the floor. I see. I understand now. So the stun gun that was connected to the cell phone fell along with it? What do you think, Kobushikawa? With this, it is possible to electrocute Inori remotely without anyone in the science lab, right? Oh yes, I lost. I didn't want to lose this time, but I lost to Maeda again. People like Kinjo didn't know Maeda will be able to win. Is it a problem to win and lose now? Take it seriously. This is a class trial. I know that, but who would know about this? I only argued once because I thought my reasoning was better than Maeda's. It's fine, don't fight. Now we have to focus on revealing the culprit's crimes first. Why am I meditating now? Why am I mediating now? Sorry. So Kanata was electrocuted remotely using a cell phone in the flood, right? Say, you found out that phone is an alarm function. Even if it is that type of phone these days, it looks like an old 2G phone. My question would be, is it waterproof? Waterproof? The fact that the stun gun fell into the water means that the cell phone that was connected to it also dropped. Old cell phones would probably break because of the water. No, rather the cell phone was floating on the floor of the science lab, and it was in a broken state. Time was displayed was strange. The colors of the screen had strange marks and lines. Just found out that an alarm was set among other features that were still functional. Can't use any other function again. That's a little disappointing. Even if it's out of signal, it was still a mobile phone that could be a better clue in the future. Hey, aren't you guys leaning down the road too much? The problem is sorted out. Let's move on to the next step. If Inori's problem was already cleared up, still yet to hear a lot more from this case. Oh, right. So as long as the killer can do a remote killing using their cell phone in the floor of water, they don't have to run directly on the second and third floors. True, yeah. Hold on. Alright, we're back. They don't have to run directly to the second and third floors. I see. If you set it up in advance, the rest just needs Inori tied up so that she cannot move on from that spot. You use a lot of tape for that purpose. Seems so. But if that's true, Then what happened to Yamaguchi? How is there anything amiss? The culprit did the kill themselves. Wait a second, even if Kanata is clear, is it the same as Yamaguchi? When I discovered him in the library, there was only Kinjo who fell down. If Tyra's words are true, it would certainly be impossible to get out of the library without being noticed. Time of death was 8:40 in the first place. It's impossible for any of us to kill at that time. Maeda, Uhara, and Mikako went to the 3rd floor, so it's impossible. Satsuki, Kobishikawa, Otari, and I confirmed each other on the 2nd floor, so it's all too far-fetched. And Kinjo and Makaru were in a state of being beaten by the killer, right? And then who was the killer? A ghost? No, wait, wouldn't it be possible for him? You, Kinjo. Kinjo? Well, but Kinjo was hit by the killer in the head, right? No, I feel bad for Kinjo, but think of it as a terms for elimination. Kinjo and Makaru are the only ones who have no alibi at the time of the crime. Then Makaru is a suspect too? They were in the art room though. It's too far from there, but Kinjo was found right in the library where Yamaguchi was dead. So you're saying that him being knocked out was a self-made play? I mean, even I saw that the wound was quite severe to be a self-play, and I tried to heal it. Wasn't that prepared? If you're guilty in the first place, you'll get executed and die, but it's about hurting yourself. Isn't it possible for the criminal to get out simply by faking being a victim? Okay, so you all consider me to be the culprit. That's... Do you really think I did the murder? If you say that, it only sounds like an excuse. If you're not the culprit, why don't you refute it logically? Isn't that your specialty? Because I really was fainted. I was lacking information. Not about able to refute something that you think is reasonable. What? This is maybe... Kinjo, are you declaring your defeat? I'll ask this for confirmation. Yamaguchi's time of death is 8:40. It was written in the Monokuma file, so it's accurate. And as soon as you went up to the 2nd floor and scattered for investigation, Yamaguchi was already dead in the library? Yes, I guarantee this. You know that if you can't refute it, you'll confess that you're the culprit, right? Kinjo, is he really the culprit? A person of justice or a character who doesn't forgive criminals? I have to leave this emotion and look at things objectively. It is true that only Kinjo and Makaru are without alibis and could have committed the crime. But I should think about this more. It's possible that we concluded this way too early. Oh shit, the music is changing. The only thing that could stop this, that could do this, is Kinjo. The only one that can do this is Kinjo. Free to believe me or not, but I was knocked out by the killer. That might be your own trick. He killed Yamaguchi in the library on the spot. Oh, he couldn't be. You just have to pretend to be stunned by hitting your head. Actually, the only one in the library who could do it at that time is Kinjo. But the wound was real? The wound was self-inflicted. It's a problem solved. Kinjo is really the killer? It's just like in the library. The person who could kill Yamaguchi in the library is the one who's in the same library. Kinjo in there. Certainly Yamaguchi is found in the library and died in the library. It's gotta be the weapon, right? No, it's wrong. It's gotta be the bloodstain, right? There we go. Okay, I was off by one. It's fine. We're still getting it. Alright. Komishikawa, wait a minute. Is that really true? You're asking if it's true? What do you mean? Kobushikawa just said it. He killed Yamaguchi, who was in the library, on the spot. That conclusion may have been wrong. What do you mean? It was the same logic as in Maki's case. There's no guarantee that the murder took place where the body was found. Huh? Then you mean he wasn't killed in the library? I think that's more likely, because of the blood stains where they were dragged from outside. If Yamaguchi was really dead in the library at the beginning of the day, it would be an impossible crime. And where is it? Where did Yamaguchi die? Not really sure. Maybe it was in the art room? The art room? That's so far away. The main stage of this case is likely to be the science lab in the library. In fact, it might not be an exaggeration to say that the art room is more important than these two. The reason why the art room is an important place, why Yamaguchi might have died in the art room other than the library. So that tool, though it is very little, that tool had blood on it. Here's the weapon. Yeah, it's the weapon. Master weapon. There was some plaster weapons in the art room. It's made of stone, but if you cut its edge fairly sharply enough and swing it as a weapon, it becomes such a spear that you can really cut easily on human flesh. No way. That spear made of stone was the thing that killed Yamaguchi? Probably is, because one of the plaster weapons had a blood spot. Well, wait a second. Yamaguchi died in the art room, but was he there? Isn't it a bit hard to say he died there? He could have been killed in the library and put back in that place for a while, right? It's not possible. There was a plastic wrap with blood in the trash can from the art room. A plastic wrap? Kinjo found it too. He didn't have much time to investigate it. That's right, so I couldn't realize that the plaster's weapon had blood on it. I just listened to Maeda's theory and found out its connection. Then how was the plastic wrap used? Maeda said if there's blood on the plaster weapon, there's a high chance that the murder weapon is this. Monokuma also said something sharp. So the killer would have killed Yamaguchi with wrap around the blade of the shedding. Hey, you said the wrap was covered in blood, right? I mean, is that a tool to prevent blood from getting onto the weapon? I realize that, but isn't there something odd? They used a wrap to keep the blood from getting onto it, but Maeda said the plaster weapon had blood on it. Isn't that contradictory? Did I not mention this? It wasn't just spread, it was faintly spread. It was not an ordinary blood mark, it was an oval, round blood mark, the size of a nail. Oh, how can blood be like that? I see, I understand after listening to Maeda. It's a simple accident to get blood on the plaster weapon. An accident? I don't know how many people have gone through the trash cans in the art room, but if you've seen the plastic wrap, you know. The wrap there was blood all over, except in this one round hole. Oh, I see. If it were the original intention of the criminal, spotted blood should not have been rubbed on the weapon. Somehow part of the wrap was torn. That's why the blood stain remained. Ah, then as these two said, the culprit killed Yamaguchi in the art room with the weapon that was in the art room. Then the evidence was put in the trash bin. That's great. These are excellent detectives. Wait a minute. Wait. I know the wrap prevents blood from splattering, I get it. But that could have been done in the art room by bringing the wrap to the library, then do the killing, and then dispose of the evidence in the art room. Of course you can see it that way. It wasn't just a wrap that was in the art room's trash. Maeda, if you found out the wrap, you must have seen that thing too. How about you tell the others about that? That thing, you mean something that was thrown in the trash with the plastic wrap? That must be... What was thrown in the trash with the plastic wrap? Oh, the white coat. Yeah, the bloody white coat. Right, I forgot about that. Kinjo, you mean Inori's white coat? Indeed, Inori's white coat with a lot of blood. As a result, Inori's body was not wearing a white coat. Why was the coat in such a place? Wait a minute, Kanata is... She died in a terrible manner, but she didn't bleed at all. But there's blood on it? I don't know why Inori's white coat was in the lab room, but one thing is certain. The killer used a white coat to wipe the blood off. Wipe it off? But isn't it still there? You can tell just by looking at the shape of the blood. In all likelihood, it's a blood stain that seems to have been rubbed with blood at some point. You can see that it was used to destroy the evidence. Oh, but it was Yamaguchi who shed blood, right? Why do you say they wiped the blood off? It's the art room itself. The art room had no traces of blood on the floor. There were traces of blood left. As Kurakawa mentions, there were traces of blood wiped off of the floor of the art room. I've even checked with the smell, so I'm sure. See, I didn't know about it, but there was blood on the floor. If that's the case, it proves that they wiped the blood with the coat. Blood splattered on the floor of the art room. Someone mentioned this before. Only Yamaguchi shed blood. Remember, process of elimination. That means the blood splattered in the art room is... And Yamaguchi died in the art room. Indeed, that would be good enough for the reason we didn't find these on the second floor. This is Kinjo after all. Even if we investigate for a few minutes, they will remain to solve all these cases. I've only put my reasoning up to this point. Even if Yamaguchi died in the art room, the mystery still remains unsolved. Wait, which mystery? No matter where the body died, what you saw with your own eyes was Kakuro Yamaguchi's body, who died in the library. Then the corpse must have been moved by the killer, which in turn means they somehow moved from the art room to the library. Well, that's a surprise, Mikaro helping us. How frustrating this is. Anyway, think carefully. The time of death of Kakuro Yamaguchi, the time until you found the body. Spell bullet scan. It's lost out debate. Multiple truth bullets are given. A common to fire truth bullets. Oh no, not scanning again. Oh no, I have to scan now? Oh fuck me, I hated that part of the first game. I was so glad they got rid of the scanning. Okay. The file. What's the mystery? Place where Yamaguchi died. It's the art room. He was in the art room around 8:40, the time of death. And at that time we were already investigating the second floor. I was always in the hallway. There was no sign of anyone on the third floor. But how did Yamaguchi teleport to the library? That is a mystery. Reasoning is possible, but the contradictions don't stop. Wrong time of death? So chance, because all of that is written in the Monokuma file is true. Kinjo doesn't know. We're drawing a blank here. It's bonkers. Why do murders always happen all the time? Day or night, without any cover, they still kill us. Something might come up. Something important to the misunderstood. It's clear that the place where Yamaguchi died, around 8:40, except everything won't fit going back and forth. Died in the art room, there were planes in other places, and the body was moved to the library. Feels like everything was prepared in advance. One thing that eliminates that possibility is Monokuma file. The file has always been correct about its information, and this is no exception. The possibility that the Monokuma file was prepared in advance as it informed the time of death. Wait, I got the right one. What's the mystery? You gotta hit his room. There we go. Day and night. I knew it. Yamaguchi died during the night. Day and night. Day and night? Guys, wait a second. Wait, there's something that bothers me. What's wrong, Maeda? Does anyone have Yamaguchi's Monokuma file? I brought it the last time I checked. Why? Did you think of anything? Kinjo, read what was written in that Monokuma file without any mistake, please. Okay. The estimated time of death of the victim, Kakuro Yamaguchi, is about 8:40. Found in library, sharply cut from back neck to uvula. The weapon is presumed to be something sharp, no other visible trauma. Something is weird, is it not? Something is weird. What is? In this Monokuma file, it says the time of death is 8:40, but it doesn't say at all whether it's AM or PM. Yeah, huh? Eh? Huh. It's better than the police, am I right? It was like that? I don't understand what they're talking about. Terra Uria and Kupasing too. Explain it to us. What? Hey, why do you mention me and make me a fool? Do you understand then? Yeah, please explain, Maeda. Okay, think for a moment. In the Monokuma file we've seen so far clearly indicated whether it was in the morning or afternoon. It was Kyokamaki. His fan time of death is about 6 a.m. Bleeding. The victim was Mori Kazuna. Estimated time of death is 9:30 p.m. Oh, it really is. AM or PM are not written in this Monokuma file. It's a blind spot. I'm sure the Monokuma file is the only one that says the truth, but it's not being mistaken. Rather, it was us. It's not 8:40 a.m. The real time of the incident took place the night before. It was 8:40 p.m. Then Yamaguchi, you're saying he was already dead since last night when we were walking around? Wait a minute. Are we jumping too fast here? Because it doesn't say whether it was on morning or at night. It's not enough to conclude that he died the night before. Maybe Monokuma forgot and missed it in the first place. You know, it's not a jump nor a leap. Rather, this case cannot be solved unless it's this way. First, I was fainted, so I thought I was lacking information. Considering the premise at 8:40 p.m., now the back and front have started to fit. Still. Or do you want to ask Monokuma then? Eh? Until now, the Monokuma files always recorded the time of death in the morning or afternoon. But is there any reason for omitting that point only in this occasion? Well, that's... No comment. If you ask me that, I will be the one in the trial. I've said it time again and again. I've decided not to meddle. This is a big no. Monokuma file only gives the right information. Based on it, helpful for reasoning. It's a kind of service system. Now, because of the Monokuma file, it's causing a confusion of misinformation. It's become a useless debate. I think this is a problem, Monokuma. The problem that I can't help you now is not saying anything wrong. I just can't tell you. Pretty sure this is it. Monokuma files always and only tell the truth, but some may have felt it through this incident so far, right? According to the content of each case, the description of the content is adjusted accordingly and properly orchestrated. It was orchestrated? Simpler terms, it's like this. For example, let's say that the killer wants to implement a whole body trick for that purpose. That case in the Monokuma file would be, it was drunk with X. It's a delicate system that makes me sick. The Monokuma file was only a tool that helps you in the investigation, not a tool to tell the truth. Because then you guys will pay the price. It's like you went in unless... Okay. Well, I almost distracted Monokuma file. Very strange, isn't it? I accidentally skipped the dialogue, my bad. What's that? I can't hear you. I don't know anything. La, 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 la. It's bound to happen. In fact, because of it, of this time trick, almost got us very badly. We were drastically wrong at those moments. Well, it certainly looks that way, but are we really sure? Without certain evidence, it could be just an inference based on Monokuma's words and circumstances. Why are you so negative? Did someone stab you? It's not like that. I just want to be sure. Sure, it's not like we don't understand it. Well, if that's the case, I'll be sure to submit evidence as Haruhiko said. Shall we try it? You have evidence? Yes, before I used to think about whether this was done in the morning or at night, but I knew the timeline trick, and there was some solid evidence to support that claim. Questions I felt during the investigation, I could feel it while I was examining Yamaguchi's body. Yamaguchi was dead for a day. The cause of these questions are understandable. The question is... Stop bleeding. Proof is simple. Yamaguchi's wound was not bleeding. Huh? That's not it, is it? Was it because the library was a bloodbath? It's obvious that is the case, but anyone who has examined the body in detail could have felt a sense of something misplaced. The blood is recent in contrast to the library. Yamaguchi himself, though, did not have a single drop of blood coming out from his neck cut. You saw that? I didn't really check the body in detail. Definitely. It felt strange, too. When I heard about Yamaguchi's time of death, thought about it again, if things connected in some way. Then let's sort this out. The blood was far gone, is what it means? It's been some time since he died, so the blood already stopped? I see, it supports the idea that Yamaguchi was already dead yesterday evening. Wait a minute, please. Sure, that may be true, but what happened to the blood in the library? The blood was not dry, and it was just flowing. The blood in the library is just a diversion for the criminal to make us think that Yamaguchi just died. The blood that filled the library was probably what the killer used. That tool would be in the infirmary. Yes, the blood packets that are gone. Blah. Did you know there's a refrigerator in the infirmary that keeps blood transfusion packs? Oh, it was for storage of the transfusion packs. I think I brought one for the injured man to drink when he was thirsty. No, inside there are a lot of transfusion packs for each blood type. Found out during my investigation this morning that the blood transfusion packs inside were gone. I don't know because I didn't know because I couldn't go to the infirmary, as Mayeda said. The blood in the library was a pool of blood made by transfusion packs. It was a room of lies. It was like that. It was a little weird when you think about it. I think I saw too much blood. In the beginning, Yamaguchi must have been killed in the art room, but it's also strange that there was so much blood in the library. It can be said that they disguised him too much. From there, when it comes to the time of death, I have a guess. Maeda, do you remember? When the trial was about to begin, we met in the hallway on the second floor when I just woke up. Oh, you're talking about that time. Yes, I definitely told Maeda about this. Right before being stunned by the killer, I saw Yamaguchi bleeding and fainted. Wait, what? Obviously Kinzo was attacked, but... Of course, it was at nighttime yesterday. Then Yamaguchi was... Monokuma files, some bleeding, blood transfusion packs, and what Kinjo mentioned. I'll only say that the evidence comes out one after another up to this point, then we can make sure of things properly. Alright then, now everyone knows for sure. Yamaguchi Kero was not dead at 8:40 this morning, but at 8:40 yesterday at night. So that's how it happened. Pretty good, Incompetent. I'll praise you on this one. I mean, you were locked up anyway, so you didn't know that. Shut up, don't pretend to be all smart-ass. But oh well, I'll admit it for a little bit. I knew the killer was I know the killer as I said before, but I was not sure about the trick. I'll tell you that my gaze on the incompetent has changed by about 0.1%. That was a compliment, right? I guess all the mysteries have been solved because Yamaguchi was already dead yesterday. The trick for Honori was solved too. That also includes the movement of the blood spots, and the corpses all over the place was indeed solved too. However, the real issue begins after this. Then who is the killer? That is the problem we have on our hands. Yeah, it's too early to be happy just yet. Even if we solve all the tricks, mysteries, and questions, if we don't know the culprit, then this is a bad outcome. But if the contents are so far true, the criminal deliberately wanted to make 8:40 p.m. and 8:40 a.m. different. The timing was thoroughly calculated for the murder, right? Also spraying a blood transfusion pack and even had the guts to kill 2 people and attack up to 3 people in a single night. Yeah, this case is somewhat impulsive and different from the 2 previous cases, which are considered semi-accidents. I'm certain this was a planned murder, committed with a crime plan. Kinjo's words are correct. Unlike the previous 2 incidents, I feel a firm malice. Are they really among us? A killer who carefully murdered like this? Kinjo, what should we do in this case? If all the tricks are really solved, and if you only need to find the culprit, you should start with an alibi. Since you know the real time of death of Yamaguchi, you will naturally know who the killer is. If you look at each alibi based on this. Alibi, you mean? Let's weigh each one. First of all, tell me what everyone did at 8:40 p.m. yesterday, the real time of death of Yamaguchi. Yesterday at 8:40. At that time, surely wasn't it the time Tyra was making a fuss? Tyra's fuss? Oh, yeah, that. Tyra tried to kill herself last night. It's no big deal. Tyra just got hurt a little. I was there. It's irrelevant for the case. Nikako. Right, so that leaves Kurokawa, Otori, and I who were there. Iranami, Kabushikawa, and the 5 of us were supporting Tyra. When I recall that, I think it was around 8:40 p.m. Okay. If so, I think you can remove the 6 of you from the suspect line. Good, so the only ones left are the psycho cop, the priest, and me. Huh? But isn't it weird? Those 3 were 3 people who passed out because they were aimed by the criminal. It's nothing you need to think about too hard. I don't want to doubt this, but in this case, there's only one possibility. There's proof that one of the testimonies was lying. Oh. In between these 3, someone lied? First, let's be as honest as possible. Why don't you tell us what you were doing at 8:40 p.m. yesterday? I was in the 3rd floor area. I was hanging out on the casino side, Fortunately, no one can testify for this, but... I was also checking the front door, but as I mentioned, I can't prove it because there was no one around. Same here. What? There were no witnesses for the other three? So you're saying all three are possible to commit the crime? Well, one of the three was not attacked by the killer, but what if they pretended to be attacked? I'm sorry, but Kinjo, Ohara, Makaru, can you tell us the situation when you guys were attacked at dawn? If this solves your doubts. When it was a little over 3 a.m., I was on the way from the first floor to the second floor, and I usually went to the library side, so I moved there. When I went inside, Yamaguchi was down. I figured he was already dead by now, but at that time it was necessary to find out if Yamaguchi was simply stunned or dead. But as I was trying to approach him... You were ambushed? Right, normally I'm not always nervous, but I think I was off guard for a moment. Probably the killer aimed for that point, and they showed Yamaguchi's body to me. They showed it to you? Yeah, do you understand what I mean? Since Yamaguchi had been moved to the library, it was not as bloody as it is now. Then in addition to simply confusing with Inori, they used it as bait to attract Kinjo? I wonder why I was only stunned and not killed. They will regret it. In return for keeping me alive, I will find them out, and they'll be punished accordingly. It was a similar situation for me, but it was probably earlier than Kinjo's. I was attacked near the stairs while trying to go up to the 3rd floor. How about you, Makaru? Well, it's roughly similar. I was attacked near the art room and lost my sight somehow. When I woke up, it was inside the locker. But it all happened in the middle of the night, right? Now it seems that all 3 people were attacked at different times, and there are no witnesses, so how do we know who the killer is? Even if we were just attacked, doesn't it seem a little different in the method? The method? The attack method. Kinjo and Uhara, I know that we saw them get directly beaten and bleeding, but Makaru was not bleeding or assaulted in any way? Then you think Makaru is the culprit? Do I have to tell you every little thing now? It's chloroform. That's what they did. What? So it was chloroform they used. It sounds rare, but it comes out in use for a lot of things. For example, tap your mouth with a handkerchief. That would be an effective way to get someone in a coma. I mean, that stuff is in the school, too? If you had searched the science lab with even a little interest, you would have been able to find it right away. It seems your stupidity is not going away. Remembering the moment just before the attack must have been a handkerchief that was put in my mouth. Okay, if that's what it was. Who really is the culprit? When it comes to an alibi, one of those 3 are still suspect. Don't think about the process. Let's consider the cause. Why were they ambushed? Why only them? Why them? Well, the killer is a little strange. Wasn't enough to kill 2 people, so they attacked 3 other people. If we put it simply, isn't it because they wander around nighttime? And now if they had some alarm for vibrations prepared in advance, if the corpses were found, it would be a headache. Maybe, but... Oh, I have a little guess. I didn't say this because I wasn't sure, but the cell phone was used to kill Inori disappeared after I was attacked. I mentioned this to you, Maeda, didn't I? Oh yes, you were looking for it in the 2nd floor hallway, right? Well yeah, Uhara had the tools necessary for the crime, so they attacked him and took it from him. I see, then there was a reason for Uhara's ambush. So that's the reason. Why did they attack Kinjo? If Kinjo moves normally at the time of the crime, it would be difficult for the culprit to get out. Plus he's the ultimate police officer, right? There was also the results of the 2 previous cases. In this case, Kinjo was struggling like that because the trial began without Kinjo collecting enough clues, right? Enough, even though I did research properly, your tone seemed to pass it all to me. Hey, let's not do that. If the trial fails, Kinjo's life is also at risk, you know? Seems like I can see the truth after coming this far. Huh? I've been suspicious of it. When I think about the information I've got so far, I can see the silhouette of only one person, the killer. I believe some of you may have realized it. How about it? Killer's silhouette can be seen. What do you mean, Kinjo? You know the killer? Everyone's remarks so far with the outline of the case and the alibis combined makes the person who is making contradictory statements. That person is the true culprit of this case. Contradictory statements? Is it them? The alibis are all true. The culprit must be one. Between Kinjo, Urahara, or Makaru, the one who made a contradictory statement among them is... Is it Kinji? Is it Kinji? But he didn't really say anything contradictory. But I don't think it's Kinji. I think the game's trying to hint me towards Kinji, but I don't think it's Kinji. Is it mean Kinji? They do. What the fuck? Don't tell me. Was it you? Uhara. Kinji Uhara? Huh? What in blazes? Okay. What the fuck? That was pretty fast. Holy shit. I don't think it's Kinji. I feel like the game's trying to lead me astray with this. Anyway, we'll pause it here and then do the next part with the next part. Yep, peace.